Let me return to a question I asked you. Now let's get to the elections that brought you to become the General Secretary. Now we understand who you are. I asked you the question, so did you accept before Saturday that you were the underdog? You said a categorical no. Why? Because everybody else thought you were. I mean, those neutral watchers thought you completely were an underdog. You said you knew you were an underdog.
No.
Why?
Because at the end of the day, elections is about strategy. Elections is about understanding what the electors want and providing or preferring answer or solutions to it. This is a party that came into government in 2016 with overwhelming parliamentary seats, 169 seats, as against the NDC, I think 106 or so.
Yeah.
And a vote difference between the NPP and NDC, over 1 million votes.
Yeah. From
2017 to 2020, the kind of programs, policies, the magnificent infrastructure development that this government introduced, many of us were convinced that if not for anything at all, we are going to maintain our 169 seats or the 1 million vote difference. After introducing free senior high school, one district, one factory, one constituency, one ambulance, planting for food and jobs, and NAPCO, no government in the history of this country since 1992 has been able to introduce those flashy programs in his first term. Not even President Kufuor's. President Kufuor's major flashy programs came in the second term. The free maternal care, national health insurance, school feeding, capitation grant, even the YE, and those came in the second term. But President Kufuor's programs came in the first term. So we're very confident. Then we went to the elections from 169 to 137. 1 million difference to 500,000. Yeah. The question is, what happened? So I sat down, looked at the reasons that culminated into us having those figures.
What reason did you find?
For any political party when you're in government, there are basically three things that affect you. One is apathy. Two is internal party management. And the third one is your communication.
Okay.
And going around, listening to the concerns of many party faithful, they felt there was a gap between the grassroots and the party's hierarchy. Some also felt that there was a gap between the party and also the government. And some also felt that there was no accessibility between them and the party hierarchy. So those were the major concerns that they had. And definitely when anyone supports a political party, it has aspirations. Yeah. It has expectation that should the party wins, I'm likely to get A, B, C, D.
Okay.
And the truth of the matter is no government can be able to satisfy the needs of everyone within even 4 years or even 8 years. So what do? You manage those expectations and you give them hope that though you have not gotten anything, there's hope for you.
Okay. So that's both grassroots supporters of the party who had helped you win?
Yes.
And then, of course, then you are projecting it to the national as well.
The national as well. So going around, I highlighted on it, and they agreed with me.
So they identify with that message?
With the message.
So in other words, there was an agreement that somehow the base had been neglected.
That was the feeling.
Okay.
Right? And it's based on the expectation I'm talking about. So, and they also saw me as someone who was closer to them.